stuff. You really think you're different, and you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon, and I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back?
Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Unfinished Business, where the rules are made up and we don't make good enough points for it to matter. As always, I'm Braden. Got Gregory over here to my right. I've got Chandler over here to my left. I'm throwing out some Clark Kent vibes for this episode because I'm just, about to go Superman. But, you want to give them a little preview of what we got going on?
Sure, why not? We are going to talk about the Tom Wilson drama in the NHL because screw that guy, as you can see from our title, right up. Oh, hold on, up, way up there. Sorry, that was way harder than it needed to be.
Right.
Yeah. It was easier for you to do that. Like, why was I trying to do that?
I don't know.
We're going to talk about that. We will get into the Albert Pujols saga on whether or not we think he should come back to St. Louis. We will get into the
European Super League.
European, not Europa. European Super League overseas, as well as some golf action for this weekend.
Yep.
And as well as our segments. Chandler's going to do his NASCAR segment. We're going to do top 5, as well as this day in sports history that we've been doing every single week now.
That's
which
right.
Braden brought up. So,
That's right.
But before all that, we got to hear from
our sponsor. So, as always, this episode of Unfinished Business is brought to you by Crafts and Creations by Kane, your one-stop shop for personalized items that will both amaze you and have your friends and family asking where you got it. Click the link in the description to be taken to the business Facebook page, or simply search Crafts and Creations by Kane on Facebook. Make sure to join the group, look at her prior creations, or you can simply just check out the decal over here.
You did that last time, too.
I know. I'm used to sitting there.
I know you
I can
are.
just reach up. When you find something that you like, message the group creator with your request, and she will take it from there. Join the group today and get your creations
by Kane. She also has 31.
She does. So why don't we just go ahead and start it off and talk about old Tom Wilson here?
Yeah, and I think the best way to start this off, just for the fans watching.
Well, I'll set the stage here.
Okay, let's set the stage.
So just for anybody that doesn't know, Washington Capitals, New York Rangers game on Monday, May 3rd, so this last Monday at Madison Square Garden. There was a scrum that was near the Capitals goal.
And I will say it was. I mean, as a hockey, obviously, we're both hockey fans. Chandler's a hockey fan too.
Yes.
I mean, these scrums happen
every game.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in this particular instance, you have a guy named Tom Wilson who took it a little too far, like he sometimes does. And we'll get into the repercussion aspect here in a little bit, but let's just say Tom Wilson is not a guy that this is his first instance.
Yeah.
Of, in my mind, cheap shots, so to speak.
Yeah. So I mean, basically to give everybody a little bit of a picture. So like we said, there's a little scrum that was near the Capitals' goal. Pavel, however you want to pronounce it.
I think this one's Pavel,
but
it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
One of the forwards on the Rangers is down near the goal line. The puck's loose near the goaltender, and he's trying to hack away at it, get it to go into the net. So while he's doing that, whistle blows,
Mm-hmm.
and Buchnevich ends up going down to the ice. Tom Wilson falls on top of him. Before Tom Wilson ends up getting up, he takes a little shot to the side/back of Buchnevich's head, which the Rangers then see, and then all hell just breaks loose. I mean, Panarin goes after Wilson.
Well, and that one wasn't even the one that, in my mind, was the worst part.
Yeah, I mean, because all the time
I think
you have players that do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have if
I
if
think
you're going
the
after
worst
a goaltender, that's you should expect a little cheap shot. I mean,
I think the worst part is the picture that I'm going to pull up.
Yeah, so basically, Panarin,
I think this is the worst part of the entire thing.
Because Panarin ends up going after Wilson for cheap shotting, which I mean, that's what your players are supposed to do. You go in, you back up. Tom Wilson's backing up his goaltender, and then Panarin goes in for backing up Buchnevich, who was shot in the back of the head. So Panarin goes after Wilson, to which Wilson then kind of goes a little crazy. He slams Panarin down to the ice. Panarin's head then hits the ice.
Yeah.
And then ends up...
And his head hitting the ice wasn't really even the worst part.
No.
The worst part is the fact that, as you can see from this photo, Wilson literally punches him in the head.
Oh, yeah. He's... And even I don't know if I can't remember if it was before this or after this. Maybe we can post a link in the comments or in the description.
Yeah.
Showing the actual thing that happened. But he either before or after that picture, Panarin's down on the ice and he's literally got his back and his face down on the ice, and Wilson is on top of him, literally cheap shotting him, punching him in the back of the head.
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't something where, Wilson's trying to get up and he just, pushed his head down. No. This was, he had every intention of, I'm hitting him while Panarin's on the ice.
Yeah.
And as we should be the first to say that Panarin's now done for, I want to say, the year.
Could be, yeah.
With playoffs being soon, I mean, for sure he's done for a while. In my mind, he could be done for the year.
Could be. Yeah.
Now I don't believe the Rangers made. I think they're eliminated regardless. But with that being said, it's still. Should we just get into what Wilson got for this?
So he got a maximum fine, no suspension, but a maximum fine under the player safety laws of $5,000.
$5,000, which for a guy who's making $5.1 million a year he
could pull that out of his couch cushions.
Is like you and I paying $100, like $20 to $100 fine. It's nothing.
I'd say it's even less than that.
Well, yeah, okay, okay. It's like a maybe $10 to $20 fine.
Maybe even like a $1 to $5 fine.
Yeah,
I mean that's probably change he's got in his couch cushions.
And this is my thing. If this was his first offense, fine.
Yeah.
But the part that pisses me off, and it's not even so much this incident. Tom Wilson is known for this kind of behavior in the NHL. He's been suspended for 20 games before for a hit on Oscar Sundqvist in the preseason. So he's only fined $5,000. But in the next game, I believe it was the Rangers player who used his stick to a guy's face is suspended 2 games. Yeah. So we're now setting the precedent that if a guy's on the ice and you punch him in multiple times in the back of the head, that's fine. You can get a $5,000 fine. But other incidences, you're getting suspended. I mean, I'll give you one better. Sammy Blais, earlier on in the season, suspended 2 games for a boarding hit on a player. Yes, is boarding a dangerous play?
Yes.
Absolutely. But the precedence that the NHL player safety is making with some of this stuff is just
uncalled for.
It's mind-boggling.
Because
there's no consistency at all.
And there was a player that was suspended. It was either that same night or maybe it was the next night. I don't know if it was. I think it was either Pittsburgh or it was against Pittsburgh. that it was he was suspended for boarding.
Yeah, the boarding. Yeah, and that was
at the goal line. He wasn't even at the board.
Yeah, and that's my thing is NHL player safety. It's very
a joke.
It's very inconsistent. It's very just.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
As long as you're a star player, you're exempt from.
Yeah, and
from major suspension.
And to me, it's getting to the point that it's hard. And breaking off of what I was getting ready to say. Personally, I respect the fact, and I know that their GM got fired, or they fired their GM, they fired their president.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the Rangers for those watching the podcast. But the statement they made after that game, who cares if they're fined $250,000 for this? That's another thing. The Rangers make a statement saying that the NHL player safety is a joke and that the person in charge of NHL player safety should be fired. So they, as an organization, get fined $250,000 for making that statement. But Tom Wilson is only fined $5,000 for doing
words hurt more than violence.
Someone in the back of the head.
I guess
words hurt more than violence.
But my thing is, if I was that GM and I was that president, yes, you lost your job. You're not going to be making millions anymore right now. But 100%, that statement needed to be made.
Sure.
As a fan of hockey, I absolutely loved that statement. Sorry, I was checking the score of the Blues game, and it's 3-3 now. So, but as a fan of hockey, I love that statement. I absolutely love the next game. Also, after that,
the thing.
First face-off, full line brawl.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, three forwards drop the gloves, or it was either 3 forwards or 2 forwards and a defenseman.
By the way, in that same game, I'm gonna be the first to say Tom Wilson's not actually injured.
Yeah,
they just knew that he was getting ready to be ran.
The thing is that looking at this incident for that game and saying, okay, he should be suspended, or he should be suspended for the dirty play. He should get his fine, his $5,000 fine, maximum under player safety contracts. But you also have to look forward to the next game that's going to be played, because everybody knew that as soon as that happened, and as soon as they saw that the Rangers played Washington again the next game.
Oh yeah,
everybody knew that there was going to be bad blood in that game, and that more than likely, right off the face-off, there was going to be a fight.
Even the two teams knew, because if you looked at that game, Ovi sat out.
Yeah.
I believe Kuznetsov was out of that game as well. I could be wrong about that one, but the Rangers brought up multiple AHL players.
Yeah.
So they definitely knew what was getting ready to happen.
Oh, for sure.
Before we lose our mic, I just saw that wobbling. So.
But yeah, so I mean, not only
we're gonna make sure that stays up there.
Not only are you having to look forward and say, okay, he deserves a suspension for that, but you also have to think that you're looking into the future at this next game, that that there's going to be bad blood. You know that there's going to be more fights. Therefore, there needs to be some type of a suspension. And I mean, there's two sides of the coin. Obviously, there's people that are calling for him to be banned from the league, for him to be just ostracized in general. And then you have other people that are completely on Tom Wilson's side, saying, it's hockey. Hockey's rough. This, that, and the other.
And here's my thing with that, and because I've heard that as well, and I agree, hockey is a rough sport. But here's the thing, Tom Wilson isn't a guy that this is his first offense, who's known as a very clean player. Tom Wilson's known as a guy who pushes limits, who has been suspended multiple times for stupid crap that he's done. So that alone, here's my thing. When Tom Wilson is suspended 20-something games for a shoulder to the head in a preseason game, which in itself is a very scary hit.
Yeah.
When you suspend him 20-something games for that, but he gets a $5,000 fine for a punch to a guy who's laying on the ice to the back of his head.
Yeah.
What kind of precedents are we setting here?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, both of those plays are equally I mean, yes, you could say skating full force and you hit a guy in the head is a little more force than just punching somebody when they're on the ground. I get that,
Yeah.
but both of those are dangerous plays.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
and
there needs to. I mean, granted, the thing is that it's not necessarily like it's not a surprise to anyone anymore when this stuff happens. Because I mean, even even watching the video that we'll post in the description, it's you'll hear the announcers in that game. They're literally saying, Tom Wilson's a great player, but like whenever it gets to situations like this, it's a disgrace to the game. It's a disgrace to Tom Wilson. It's a disgrace to the Washington Capitals organization.
And that's the thing is, Tom Wilson's not just an enforcer. He's a great forward.
Yeah,
I mean,
goal scorer. He's playmaker.
Now I mean, is he necessarily like an elite goal scorer, elite person? Like no, I mean he has his role, and he played his role very well. The problem that now is he has such a bad rep that I don't know if that's the reason why I'm so pissed off about this.
Yeah.
Or if it's really the fact that I don't even know if I'm more so pissed off at Tom Wilson or if I'm more so pissed off at NHL player safety. I mean personally, I think it's NHL player safety I'm pissed off. I mean,
there needs to be. Me personally, I think there needed to be some kind of a suspension. I mean,
whether that's one game, whether that's 10 games, 20 games, something needed to happen. And going back to what you talked about with, the next game playing the same team.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that if you only give them a one-game suspension, the next time that those two teams play, something's going to happen. Yeah. Somebody's going to go after Tom Wilson. But with that being said, with him not being suspended, the entire team is pissed off. The entire team feels that the NHL is not on their side at all, and that's the reason why you had the drop of the puck, every single player fighting. That's the reason.
Yeah.
If you suspend Tom Wilson, the next time they play, all that's going to happen is the enforcer from the Rangers is going to fight Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
And after that, the game's going to be played.
See,
it happens all the time.
And honestly, if you're the Capitals organization in this situation, do you hand out you could keep
your own
type of a suspension. I mean, obviously, it bad for. I mean, it looks bad on the organization for. I mean, suspending a player.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's a worse. I think it looks worse on the organization
personally
for not being suspended at all and them not doing anything and then taking him out of a game or taking him out of the game or not even he was taken out of the game, right?
He was labeled as an upper body injury.
Yeah, but he came out in the game. He originally started the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Not start. He wasn't on the ice when the gloves dropped.
No, he was not. But in his first shift, within I think it was 8 seconds, somebody was trying to find him.
Yeah.
No, what I thought you were asking was, did they take him out of that game? And they did take him out, and they're labeling it that he had an upper body injury. I think what it came down to is there were 100. I mean, let's be honest. There was 140 penalty minutes in I believe 5 minutes of game time.
Yeah.
So. I think what the Capitals wanted to say was, oh, hey, go sit in the locker room. We want to play hockey tonight. This game is getting just ridiculous with all of the extra drama. Help us out here, and we're trying to say you have an upper body injury.
See, well,
Tom Wilson's not injured, folks.
The thing,
no offense, he's not injured.
Well, really, the thing is though, is that as a fan and as not a fan of Tom Wilson, not a fan of the Capitals, and not a fan of the Rangers. Honestly,
there's only two players on the Capitals that I would say that I respect. Yeah, Oshie and Ovechkin.
Kuznetsov, but
but if I had to pick just two, like we talked about, I would say Ovi and Oshie. And
the thing is,
before you say anything, shout out to Oshie getting a hat trick on the first game after his father passed away.
Yeah,
I had to add that.
Emotional.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But the thing is that I mean, if you're the Capitals, I mean, I understand their thought process of taking him out of the game. I mean, honestly, could he be injured? He could be. Do I expect that he is? Absolutely not.
But I guess he could be.
Yeah,
but
he could be injured. But most people don't think that he is.
Well, here's my thing. Also, it's Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
The guy. I'll be honest. Okay, it's Tom Wilson. He is a force. I'll give him that. But probably should move on to a different topic before you get too pissed off. But I don't think he's injured. I think it really just comes down to they wanted to move on, play the game, and not have all this extra drama and penalty minutes the entire game.
Well, see, the thing, or my thought process on this, and obviously, yes, I'm all for, let's keep this situation as calm as possible. Let's take him out, and get back to the game. But I mean, if you're the Capitals, he's not suspended by player safety. He got a $5,000 fine. Woohoo! But I mean, maybe one of the better ways for him to learn his lesson, have him out there and face the chin music. I mean, what's gonna happen every single time that he goes out there and he is on a shift? He's gonna get instigated. He's gonna get cheap shot. He's gonna get hit.
I wonder if and if he's injured, hey, I mean, I guess I apologize for saying that. I don't think he is, but I also think that they took him out of that game because they're in a playoff spot, and they're going to need him to be that force in the playoffs. So yeah, he wasn't suspended from player safety like he should have been. Yeah. But I think they ultimately, I don't even think it was so much them giving him like their own suspension.
Yeah.
I think it was the fact that they saw that game
was getting out of hand fast.
He's going to end up being hurt for
the
rest of the year.
He's going to get targeted.
Yeah. And I think they ultimately were just like, you want to know what? It's not worth it. We need him for the playoffs. Even though he's not going to score them many goals or anything, he's going to play his role and play it very well.
Yeah.
On checking and getting the puck in deep. Honestly, because
the thing is too is that what they also need to monitor is there are numerous teams and players that are on the side of Panarin, on the side of the Rangers, and thinking that he deserves some type of suspension.
Yeah, well,
what's going to stop other teams from doing the same thing?
That's true. And
one of those
teams could easily be. I believe it was Pittsburgh on who got suspended. I could be wrong on that, but regardless, any team that's had a dumb suspension this year could easily look at that and be like, "Well, you want to know what? Fuck you! Like, we're going to go after him too because this pisses us off."
Yeah. And it easily could turn into a very bad situation.
And like we talked about, I think the worst part out of the whole thing is the fact that the Rangers were fined $250,000 for that statement, and $250,000 for a statement versus
$5,000
versus $5,000 for the actual act.
Yeah.
But I think that's what pisses a lot of people off, and including myself.
Yeah.
So, but moving on, we'll go to a segment and kind of get off of that. We will post that video of the whole incident. Hell, we'll even post the video of what happened the next game. I mean, just the first shift, because people need to watch that too.
Sure.
If you don't watch hockey, that's what can happen in hockey.
Yeah, that's what can happen in hockey.
So, Braden, what segment do we want to do the first time?
We're gonna hit on this day in sports history. So on this day, May 7th.
May 7th.
May 7th.
This is Friday night.
Yep. May 7th, 1917. Babe Ruth shows his pitching prowess as he pitches against future Hall of Famer Walter Johnson and ends up beating him in a pitching duel, 1-0.
Who would have thought Babe Ruth was that good of a pitcher?
On this day, May 7th, 1925, Pittsburgh Pirate Glenn Wright unassisted triple play.
That's impressive.
I really want to know how that happened. I might have to look that up later. But
I mean, what year was that?
1925.
Would they even have I
don't know if they really have a. I mean, they might have like this. Yeah,
they probably don't have like a video of it. But I mean, if they had a video of that, that'd be incredible.
I mean, it would be.
I mean, let's be honest. It had to have been something like
maybe like a line drive.
Even then, I don't know how you do that because
I mean, well, here you go. Double steal, line drive, player on runner on first and second. He's playing like short or second base, goes to cover the bag at second. Ball's lined up the middle. He catches it, tags second, and then tags the runner.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. What
I
if
mean,
it was a ground
something
ball?
because I don't know how you do an unassisted triple play.
I mean, that'd have to be.
It would have to be something that, okay, A, really, really bad base running.
It could be. Nice.
Or,
Well,
I mean, it had to have been
Something
something.
crazy like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
because...
this is what I'm thinking. Is a ground ball to, like, shortstop.
No.
Runner's on first and second. He tags the runner that's going to third, steps on second, and then throws it to first.
That's
No,
not
that's not unassisted.
How?
because he's throwing it to
He's
first base.
throwing it.
It'd be six.
Unassisted
6-3.
means he's doing every single out.
My bad.
So it would have had to have been like
Something
a
either
line
four
drive,
base.
tag the runner, and then tag the.
Yeah.
Well, no, because even tag the base, it's like that wouldn't.
Yeah, it would be unassisted.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, that's like that. I'm thinking that'd have to be somewhat what it would be a line drive with a double
It has to
steal or
be-
something along those
yeah,
lines. Catch
it
the
would-
ball, tag second, and then tag the runner.
Or could it be that he played third base, caught a line drive, tagged the runner coming back,
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
something happened.
We need to look this up. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
curious now because
So-
I really. You want to know what? Fuck it.
Jumping-
I'm looking this up right now. What was that?
I'm
What was the name?
guaranteeing you're not going to find it. Glenn Wright,
Glenn Wright, 1925. Right?
How you spell right?
like the Wright brothers.
Who created the first airplane?
Good job. You didn't know who Clark Kent was. But jumping
I
to
don't know Superman.
the next one, which is 1989. You didn't know this either, so I don't believe that.
Hey!
1989,
I know
May
who
7th,
Michael
1989.
Michael Jordan is. So.
Michael Jordan hits the shot. For
Oh, here we
anybody-
go. I got you.
What happened?
Was St. Louis? It was against the Cardinals, by the way.
Would have been the Browns probably at that point.
No, it says against the St. Louis Cardinals
Oh.
at Forbes Field. With St. Louis runners occupying first and second base in the ninth inning, Jim
It was in the
Bottomley.
ninth. Great.
Yeah, Jim Bottomley scores a drive that seemed destined to land in the outfield. Wright ran over towards second, speared the sharp drive, touched the keystone sack, and then tagged the befuddled runner, tearing to second.
Braden called it.
So, yeah,
I was right.
Wow.
okay, that's
I didn't know that beforehand. I will say that now.
so. What it sounds like is it was
Or
a
base
play.
running.
It was a play. No, it was a play that the Cardinals thought for sure this guy's not catching this ball.
Yeah, and
he just made a crazy play.
Yeah.
So that's badass, actually.
Yeah.
I wish we could find a video of
Well,
that, but
so
I doubt there's a video.
1989, Michael Jordan hits the shot.
The shot.
For those that
was
don't know, inbound the
much
ball,
last
3
second
seconds
shot.
left.
From the free throw line.
Hesitation shot from the free throw
That
line.
was against the Cavs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And I found that out literally like
20 minutes ago.
Don't
20 minutes
don't add that part. People will judge you very hard.
I don't care.
I mean,
Then again-
your video of Michael Jordan jumping up and his fist pump, and then the big, three
The big-
fist pump like back to back
The
to
big
back.
dagger in the hearts of Cleveland fans again.
That's the shot for those
that's
that
shot.
don't know. And then fast forward May 7th to 2016, Bartolo Colon, aka Big,
Big
Sexy,
Sexy.
hits
Big
his first
Sexy.
career home run.
That is a 46-year-old man.
Yep.
Against-
Oldest player in Major League Baseball history to hit his first career
second
home
oldest.
run. Or second. Okay.
Do you remember the pitcher?
It was a big caliber pitcher, wasn't it? It was like
I want to say it was it James Shields?
it might have been.
I want to say it was against San Diego, but I can't remember.
It was.
James.
It was. I don't know. Not sure. But are you looking it up? Let's see. James Shields.
Just James Shields.
All right.
Point for Greg Chandler. You need to get on the board.
I said the right word.
Oh,
Okay.
did you forget to say where where the rules are
No,
made. Oh,
I said
okay.
it.
I'm slightly tipsy, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Well,
All right. Was that the last one?
That was it. That was on this day in sports history.
All right. What's the next
Next thing that we're going to jump into. So we're going to talk about we're going to stop talking about a complete asshole and Tom Wilson. And we're going to go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and we're going to go to one of the most revered, I would say, and probably one of the fan favorites for Major League Baseball for a number of years.
Before we do this, I'm gonna grab another beer,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna let you start this conversation because
Grab me a water.
I'm gonna add in my 2 cents. I'm gonna add in my 2 cents on whether I think he should go back to St. Louis.
Okay, so for those that don't know, Albert Pujols, again, revered by a lot of fans in Major League Baseball. There's a lot of people that have a lot of respect for him, myself included.
And me.
He was released, or he was designated for assignment by the Los Angeles Angels yesterday, Thursday. So just a little background on his standings at the moment. He leads all active Major League Baseball players with 667 home runs, 3,253 hits, and 2,886 games.
Wow.
He's fifth all-time on the all-time home run leaders list. So basically, Los Angeles wasn't liking the productivity that he was giving them this year. He said that, even though he hasn't played as well as he could this year, he's not ready to retire, even if that means that he's leaving Los Angeles.
So reports are, and like I said, this is just speculation, these are just reports. Reports are that he actually told the organization to send him down or let him go.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that the Angels.
It was a mutual thing.
Yeah,
it was a mutual thing.
Like he did not want to be taking up a roster spot playing that poorly.
Yeah,
is basically what it was.
Which
is in my okay. Obviously, I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I've always been a Pujols fan.
Yeah.
Especially going to games at Busch when there was multiple times I've watched him hit multi home run games.
Oh yeah.
And Braden and I got to play at Busch Stadium, and to be honest, like it was pretty badass to say okay, I was standing in the same spot that like Pujols stood.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean? Like, well, and that could be like any great Cardinal.
Well, yeah.
Or anything like that. But it's like, Pujols meant a lot to the city of St. Louis. And
yes.
I know a lot of Cardinals fans who obviously were, pissed off when he left, which understandably so. But even and this is me saying this, not as a Cardinals fan, but, and Braden, you can disagree if you're a Cardinals fan, like, because I know you're a Cardinals fan, but even as a Cardinals fan, even though he left, like, what more did you want him to give to the city of St. Louis?
I think honestly,
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think. Now, obviously, I don't know about every. Most diehard Cardinal fans, they know where they were, they know what they were doing, where they were at when they got the news that he decided that he was leaving and was going to Los Angeles. Like I was in high school at the time. I was sitting in my foods class when I found out. And everybody that loved the St. Louis Cardinals didn't want him to leave. And I think the main thing that really kind of turned off people and kind of made more people mad about it was like they knew, the Cardinals knew that they couldn't match the offer that the Angels gave him.
Yeah.
But the thing was that he was offered as much money. He was offered pretty close to the same amount of money.
Wasn't it less years?
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
It equaled out to roughly the same.
The overall money was different because it was less years, but like the average per year was.
But I want to say that there was like a special clause that would have been in his contract where he would have gotten like a percentage of something else to where the money would have equaled out.
Okay. I got
So
you. Well,
it was rough. I mean, it wasn't the right move for him. Probably. I mean, it elongated his career. He wouldn't have been first baseman this whole time.
And that's the thing is, for him, okay, at the time, he was still
He was the machine still.
He was still one of the best players in baseball. I think what he was looking at is, by the time that this contract is over, I need to be in the American League to still be playing in the MLB.
Yeah, in a DH
because he
role.
knew with the Cardinals, he's not going to be able to go out there and play every single day at his age now. He knew that. Back and Cardinals fans were pissed, but he knew, okay, I'm not going to be able to play first base every day. I'm going to need to be a DH. And the National League, unfortunately, doesn't have that. Which moves me into my second to the real big question. A lot of Cardinals fans are hoping that the Cardinals bring him back for the end of this year. I know you're a Cardinals fan, so I want to give you my 2 cents first.
Okay.
As a feel-good story, would that be great? Yes. But I think if they do that, it should be a one-day contract for him to retire a Cardinal. I don't think you want to see him come back and spend the whole rest of the season with St. Louis. And here's my reasoning. Unless you're going to and this will be the only reason why they would bring him back. Unless you're going to bring him back to only play when you want to have Goldschmidt get some rest, that would be the only time. But even then, when you're having that would be the only reason to bring him back. Because here's my thing. You have Goldschmidt, and does Carpenter play first instead of over Goldschmidt on off days, or do they have a rookie who plays?
It'd be Carp.
So it would be Carp. Okay. So no offense, even though Pujols is saying that he sucks this year, he's batting better than Carpenter, folks. So but this is my thing. Cardinals fans are like, oh, we need to bring him back for this great postseason run. I don't know. I mean, at this point, he's only going to play on days that Goldschmidt's resting. You're not going to put him at first base every single day, no matter who or what he did for your organization. He's not the same player, folks.
Yeah, I think
so.
Honestly,
in my mind, if a team wants to pick him up, I think it almost has to be an American League team and let him be able to play DH. But even then, and I'll say this as a White Sox fan, LaRusso was asked, hey, Pujols is open. Are you going to go grab him? And LaRusso already said, I would love to, because I would love to be back with him. But LaRusso's exact words were, our lineup's stacked. We have nowhere for him to go.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of teams that are going to be in the playoffs possibly this year are going to say the same thing. So unless he goes back to the Cardinals for just a feel-good story or a one-day contract to retire a Cardinal, the only teams that I see him going to would be just a nobody, just for him to play his final months in the major leagues.
See, I think that this could go a couple different ways. I think, yes, it could be a one day sign and retire contract with the Cardinals.
Which, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 70-30.
See,
I would say 70% that he signs a one day contract, calls it quits. Maybe gets a front office job,
he doesn't want to retire though. He said that he doesn't want to retire. I mean, and honestly, if you're Albert, do you really want? I mean, you're hitting like terribly. Do you want to end your career that way?
No, and
I mean, with the career that he's had, I mean, do you want to give yourself the opportunity to get to?
Well, and here's my thing. Regardless of, not to cut you off, Braden, but regardless of what he does the rest of his career, in my mind, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, for what he did in his prime, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Do you, and this would be more of maybe a question for you over me, because I'll be honest, I haven't really followed much of Pujols now that he's with the Angels. Would he be able to transition into what kind of like Matt Holliday did, where he can play outfield? Because I'll be honest, I mean, or either him or Goldschmidt.
Well, see,
and the reason I say that is because the defensively, okay, the Cardinals' outfields are probably fine, but offensively, I don't know about this year, but they struggle.
Yeah.
Would he be able to do like what a Matt Holliday did and play like left field or right field?
I think even a better comparison to that would be Lance Berkman.
Yeah,
because that's what Lance. Because I mean, honestly, same career path. Because I mean, Lance Berkman started. Many people don't know it, but Lance Berkman started in the outfield.
Yeah.
And then whenever his career started to take off, they wanted him to focus more on hitting. Moved him back to the infield to first base. And then whenever he came to the Cardinals,
didn't Berkman played right field? Was it right field? Didn't he play center field for a little bit in Houston?
Maybe.
I could have sworn that he played like a couple games in center field because I could have sworn he made like a crazy catch, on like the old Houston Astros like
the hill.
He
might have, but I mean, I know
I could be wrong about this, so I don't want to say yes or no.
I know that because whenever Berkman transitioned and came back over to the Cardinals at the end of his career, he moved back out to the right field and honestly made key plays in their playoff run and eventually winning of that World Series in 2011. So I mean, I think that what a better I don't even know. I think that potentially what they could do is they could go a couple of different ways here. They could put him in the outfield, put him in like a right field, and then have him in there for, I mean, he's still got pop. I mean, it's Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
And then have your normal infield, or maybe he's played games at third base. Arenado has played games at short. I mean, it's to the point of how much do you want to shake up your infield? Because I mean, honestly, you could put him at third base. You could move Arenado to short. You could have DeYoung play second as an already good middle infielder, and you could move Tommy Edman, who plays good outfield, out to the outfield and move him so there's a better defensive outfield. That's a lot of moving around. You're moving a Gold Glove third base to shortstop.
And here's my thing. That's a lot of moving around for a guy who is only batting 150 this year, something like that.
Cardinals outfielder's not hitting much better. So I
understand.
And that. You don't.
And
have
like I said,
the pop with your out. I mean, you have Tyler.
So O'Neill. I guess the real question, Braden, is Cardinals fan bias aside, do you think Pujols should come back to St. Louis? Am I talking as a baseball fan, or am I talking just a fan of the Cardinals and just wanting them to do the best? Okay. We'll take it one of two ways. As a baseball fan,
okay,
should the Cardinals get Pujols to come back?
Yes.
Okay. As a fan of the Cardinals wanting to see them win a World Series?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. Honestly, what do you have to lose?
Well, actually, okay. Now that they released him, he's a free agent, correct? Mm-hmm. So,
honestly,
technically speaking, could he sign for league minimum?
I mean,
I don't know if he would.
I'm not sure.
But could he?
I'm not sure.
I didn't know how that worked.
I'm honestly not sure, but what do the Cardinals have to lose? Nothing.
To be honest, you're actually correct, because here's my thing. The Cardinals should win their division. They should.
Yeah.
Realistically, they should. I know the Reds are playing out of their fucking mind right now, but the Cardinals should win that division.
Okay.
But do I see the Cardinals at the moment, right now, competing with other teams in the National League, like the Dodgers, like, well, okay, I'm not even gonna mention like the Braves or the Phillies because that division there's only one team above 500.
Yeah.
And it's the Phillies, which is like one game above 500.
Mm-hmm.
But do I see them competing with a team like San Diego, like the Dodgers? At this point, not really. But it's not really because of their lineup.
I don't see them having a problem with the Padres.
I don't know.
They played them tough last year, and they didn't have Nolan Arenado.
Well,
Nolan Arenado has been 3/4 of their offense this year.
Well, no, but this is what I was going to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Is hitting wise, the Cardinals they're not struggling like hardly at all.
Okay.
The problem is their pitching. Their starting rotation is very, very inconsistent. So I guess my thing is, would bringing in a guy like Pujols hinder their chances of possibly going out if they're making a run for the postseason, possibly going out at the trade deadline and trying to grab a pitcher?
I don't think so.
Like you see what I'm saying though? Because let's be honest.
I see what you're saying.
Let's be honest. You're gonna bring in Pujols. Carpenter's not playing at all, and nobody's picking that motherfucker up.
He shouldn't be playing at all in the first place.
That guy should be sent out to AAA at this point because he's terrible.
AAA, farther, single.
Okay, well,
rookie
single
ball.
A, double A. I mean, the guy
he should be sitting on the bench as a bench coach in rookie ball.
But it like, I don't know. And like I said, this is me kind of not a Cardinals fan, just giving my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Is, don't get me wrong, if Pujols comes back to the Cardinals, am I gonna ask you, hey, let's get some freaking tickets and go watch this? 100%.
Mm-hmm. See,
I mean, dude, do you realize if he comes back to the Cardinals, how many people who maybe got rid of his jersey will 100% buy a new Pujols jersey? It might be the top selling jersey in all of baseball. Because I mean it's Cardinal Nation.
Yeah.
100%.
So, do I want to see it? Yes. Do I think that it necessarily makes the Cardinals a better team? No.
See, well,
personally, I don't.
But the thing
now, if he comes back to St. Louis and he somehow just rejuvenates his career again, that could be a steal.
See, but the thing is that you gotta think that he's in Los Angeles. I mean, look at the. I mean, there's, I would say, better pitchers in the American League. I don't think that there's really much of an argument there.
I would agree with that.
I mean, the National League, you have Kershaw, you have Scherzer, you have DeGrom, but I mean, outside of that, and then you're also coming into St. Louis in the summer. The ball carries a lot in St. Louis.
Yes.
Which is shortened season.
Which is kind of surprising because if you actually look at like Busch Stadium, it
is a smaller ballpark than Los Angeles.
It's smaller than Los Angeles, but like Busch Stadium actually is a bigger ballpark than a lot of other places.
Has to be because the ball carries there so much.
Well, I understand that,
but I'm just saying, like, I mean, is it out of the realm of possibility for him to come into St. Louis, where, like I said, the ball carries a little more, the ballpark's smaller than the one he's playing in Los Angeles?
Do you know where I could see him
go? A few home runs, confidence goes up.
Do you want to know where I could see him wanting to go, but there would be no reason for him to go there? Just because it'd be, I mean, if he was trying to go for, like, let's say,
you say the Cubs.
No, trying to get 700 home runs.
Okay.
Yankees. Small ballpark. Just trying to.
But they would never take him though.
Well, they don't have any room for him.
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's be honest. They don't need him. So that's what I meant by like a random team. But no, I think at this point, like I said, I think it's 70%, 30%. Even though he doesn't want to retire, that if he's not picked up, the Cardinals sign him to a one-day contract and let him retire a Cardinal.
I think that, I mean, in my opinion, is it a possibility for them to do a one-day sign and retire? Yeah. It's a possibility. It's a good possibility.
But I will say Yachty has already said, "Hey,
as I say, you look at
come on board for a final ride."
Yeah,
I mean that was his exact Instagram post the other day. Was, "Hey, come on board, one more ride."
I mean, yeah. I mean, replace Carpenter with her. I mean, he doesn't want to be on the bench, but I mean,
yeah. I mean,
he's not going to start over Goldschmidt, and he knows that. So I mean,
yeah. And he definitely understands that.
Come to St. Louis. I mean, come on board for another possible World Series.
Run.
Yes, thank you. Another World Series run, possibly win another one. It just depends on how everything goes. I mean, obviously, they're not favorites by any means, but I mean, and then if they find a spot for him to play, multiple occasions.
This is a whole different podcast. But to be honest, is there really a clear favorite at this point in the MLB? Even the Dodgers look like they're
lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a clear favorite right now. And I'll be honest, as a White Sox fan, we'll be lucky to limp into the playoffs with all the injuries we have.
Yeah.
Robert just went down for months, so I mean, luckily, for whatever reason, the White Sox rotation is one of the best in baseball, so maybe that'll help us. Who knows? But
what were you wanting to add?
Oh, I just wanted to say that, if he does come back to St. Louis, with the environment of St. Louis, he could come back and have, a better career again.
Yeah,
with how St. Louis's fans are.
Oh, well, yeah.
And how the environment is.
I mean, it's just coming back home in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll give him a little boost. I mean, he might get his adrenaline going a little bit more, ball carry. I mean, is he going to come back and is he going to play like he did before? No. Not even close. But is it possible for him to come back and, hit 230, 250, somewhere in there,
maybe.
Pop a couple home runs? I mean, yeah, it's possible.
Oh, hell! Well, I mean, dude, it's Pujols. He'll hit a few home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, will it be the same pace he once had? Oh my God, no. But I mean, if he gets to play every so often, I mean.
And plus, I mean, if you think about it, and he does come back, you get to the final regular season game, or let's say they make it into the playoffs and they are a game, they're in an elimination game, the other team's up by a lot. You bring in an Adam Wainwright to pitch the last inning. You bring Pujols in to play first base. You have Molina that's behind the plate. I mean, that's your franchise right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, and possibly the last year of all three of their careers.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what better way would it be for a Cardinal fan to see them three in their careers together? I mean, Molina doesn't want to retire, and honestly, the way he's been offensive this year, I mean, there's a reason for him to retire.
Yeah, and I mean, they said that this is his last year. I don't know if it will be.
But I mean,
honestly,
if Pujols does retire, I mean, just looking back at a little bit of his career, like I said, he's got the 667 home runs. It's fifth all time on the home run list.
Mm-hmm.
3,253 hits. I mean, all right. Two-time World Series champion in 06 and 11, 2001 NL Rookie of the Year, NL MVP in 05, 08, and 09. First ballot Hall of Famer, and I don't think there's even an argument for that.
No. Well, and I already said that. Will it be unanimous? No, because in my mind, if Jeter didn't go unanimous, Pujols isn't going to go unanimous.
Should be unanimous.
But yeah, I mean, in his prime, Pujols was the best player in baseball.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the way that he was on the field, it's really weird to say, but he was even a better person off the field. I mean, with all of the work that he does with with children with Down syndrome, and with his foundation, and just everything in general. I mean,
oh yeah,
great human being, great baseball player. Another one of those players like a Derek Jeter who just kind of was in the spotlight. And
oh yeah, no, I mean, that's why I said, I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I mean, there's guys on the Cardinals that you can't hate, and like Molina.
I mean,
Wainwright.
There's plenty of people that hate Molina, but
no, but I understand. But in my mind,
career, yeah.
In my mind, as a career, like you can't hate a guy like Yadier Molina, who has played the game the right way, who has been on top of his game his entire career. But that's my thing. You can't hate a guy like Pujols. Yeah, Cardinals fans are going to hate him for leaving. Whatever.
I don't even think they do. I mean, the reception he got when he came back.
Well, that's my thing. Is you have to understand that he gave that city all he had while he was there.
Well, I think part of the reasoning of everybody being upset was the timing that he left.
Yeah,
I would
agree with that.
He left after, like, literally the year after they won a World Series, and left the same year that La Russa left.
Yeah.
So,
which, I mean, I know
he left.
I know you're going to say that he chased money, which, in all honesty, yeah, he probably did. But
more power to him. He played well enough to chase money.
Well, yeah, and that's my thing is, who in any like other job is going to be like, no, I really just want to stay with my job and make, way less than what I have a chance to make elsewhere. On top of that, he goes to L.A.
See, my thing is,
which is a lot warmer weather.
Anybody that gets offered a $350 million or $353 million contract, you're not turning it down.
No. And
at the time, did I wish that he did? Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I would have loved to have seen him in Cardinal uniform for his entire career, like Molina. But
yeah, and I'll be honest, I will be the first to say that if Pujols stays, the Cardinals already have number 12.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be honest.
I agree with that.
But let's move on to we want to do Chandler's segment?
Yeah, let's go a little NASCAR.
All right. So, with the NASCAR segment this week, we're going to be talking about the last week's race on Sunday, which was the Bushy McBush race at Kansas.
Okay, you want to before we even get going, you want to know what pisses me off about that freaking name of that race?
Bushy McBush.
I entered a freaking name because that was the one that you fans said that you have to name it. I entered a name, and they went with Bushy McBush. That's some bullshit. Sorry, you can go
Actually,
ahead.
It was the Bush McBush, but everybody's been calling it the Bushy McBushy.
Bush McBush, whatever. I don't even care. Freaking ridiculous.
So the starting lineup.
Speaking of Bush.
Bush latte. Anyway, the starting lineup. And first, we have Brad Keselowski. Second, William Byron. Third, Michael McDowell. Fourth, Kevin Harvick. Fifth, Matt DiBenedetto. Sixth, Austin Dillon. 7, Ryan Blaney. 8th, Christopher Bell. 9th, Kyle Busch. 10th, Cole Custer. And Greg. Ryan Newman started 14th.
Yeah.
And Braden Anthony Alfredo did better than last week, actually. Started 22nd.
Well, here we go.
So.
You do realize, Chandler, that the starting is like a random draw, right?
No, it's qualifying.
There's no qualifying.
Yeah, there's
a random draw.
It's qualifying.
It's a random draw, dude.
Okay, you say what you want.
Okay.
Okay, so, in stage 1, with 4 to go, Kyle Busch makes a slide job on Kyle Larson. In racing, a slide job is pretty much where, well, in dirt track racing, it's different than asphalt, but I'm going to try my best to explain it. A slide job in asphalt racing is where you dive down on the corner and then you float up the track right in front of the person that you're trying to pass. Unfortunately for Kyle Busch, I'm being biased by saying this, it did not work. Kyle Larson ended up passing him in 3 and 4. So, the top 5, and then later on, Kyle Busch passed him to win the stage. So, that being said, the top 5 after stage 1 was first, Kyle Busch, second, Kyle Larson, third, Tyler Reddick, fourth, Brad Keselowski, and fifth, William Byron. In stage 2, nothing happened except for a lead change. So, the top 5 after stage 2, was first, Kyle Larson, second, Kyle Busch, third, Denny Hamlin, fourth, Brad Keselowski, And 5th, Chase Elliott. What? You're smiling at me. Oh. There was no qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. That's okay.
In Stage 3, which is the last stage, Bubba Wallace got loose after making contact with Kurt Busch. He does not spin, so there is no caution. With 25 to go, Denny Hamlin hit the wall and gave Kyle Larson the lead, which caused a caution. The 6th caution came out with 15 to go. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. made contact with the 33 of Austin Cindric and spun. Next, with 10 to go, Christopher Bell spins, hitting Ricky Stenhouse Jr. along with Ryan Preece. Lots of smoke and steam from Stenhouse's car due to his wreck earlier in the race. On the restart with 2 to go, Kyle Larson spun Ryan Blaney. There was no caution because Ryan Blaney was able to save the car. With that being said, the top 10 at the end of the race was first, Kyle Busch, first win of the year. Second, Kevin Harvick. Third, Brad Keselowski. Fourth, Matt DiBenedetto. Fifth, Chase Elliott. Sixth, Martin Truex Jr. Seventh, Tyler Reddick. Eighth, Chris Buescher. Ninth, William Byron. 10th, Austin Dillon. Greg Ryan Newman finished 16th, and Braden Anthony Alfredo finished one position behind his starting spot, which was 23rd.
Hey.
Now I would like to add on.
The race was rigged.
Nah. Now
it was called the McBush race, so they had to have a Bush guy win it.
Well, I mean, Chris Buescher could have won it, but he didn't. Kurt Busch could have won it.
Yeah.
But instead, Kyle Busch won. So I'm going to add on to the winner of the race, Kyle Busch. He has won 17 years in a row, which is 1 year under Richard Petty's most wins in a row, which is 18 years. And he now joins Cale Yarborough as the second driver in NASCAR history to win on his birthday more than once. Lastly, I want to talk about the NASCAR playoff standings after last race. First, with 2 wins, we have Martin Truex Jr. Second, Kyle Larson with 1 win. Third, Ryan Blaney with 1 win. Fourth, Joey Logano with 1 win. I was wrong about last week about how many wins he had. I said he had 2. He actually had 1. Fifth, William Byron with 1 win. Sixth, Brad Keselowski with another person with 1 win. Seventh, Kyle Busch with 1 win. Eighth, Christopher Bell with 1 win. Ninth, Michael McDowell with 1 win, which was only the Daytona 500. 10th, Alex Bowman with 1 win. Everyone through the top 10 has locked in a position in the NASCAR playoffs.
There you go, Chandler.
So far.
That's what.
That was 2 years ago when him and Joey Logano got into it.
That's what Kyle Busch should be looking like. Don't always bleed, but cry like a little bitch.
Alright.
There you go. You can keep going.
So, everyone through the top 10 has locked in a position into the NASCAR playoffs. So, if your driver was not mentioned, they are still looking to lock in a position without having to keep fighting for that position.
So, Ryan Newman's not locked in?
Not yet.
Oh, that sucks.
And that's all I got for today.
You don't got any more?
No.
What's the next race?
Darlington.
Darlington? Okay.
Which the truck series is, I'm going to hit on that next week, so stay tuned.
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about a little golf.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Ooh! Okay. I'm ready for this.
Oh, God. All right, so this weekend we've got the Wells Fargo Championship that's going to be at Quail Hollow Country Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got the defending champion of Max Hama from last year. The big story for this weekend, this tournament, is that Rory McIlroy finally makes a cut.
Ooh, there we go.
He makes a cut for the first time in 2 months, which
Oh, is this going on right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna give you who I thought was gonna win, but now I feel like an idiot.
No, golf starts on Thursday.
Oh, well, duh. I knew that.
But so Rory makes a cut for the first time in 2 months, which is really a surprise with how well he played a couple years ago.
Hey, he's in a tie for 5th too. That's
he
a
is.
boy.
Speaking of players that played really well a couple years ago, old Philly Mickelson comes out first round, shoots 64. So I mean, yeah,
and
good for him.
And then he winds up cut.
No, he is. I think he's in the same position that Rory's.
Yeah,
in.
I was trying to look for. Oh man,
he's up higher.
I know. Ricky Fowler that got cut.
Yeah,
I'm looking to see if old Cameron is playing this. I don't think he's playing in this one.
In it.
I don't think he did. 'Cause I don't think I've seen his name.
Yeah. Either way, so Phil shoots 64 first round. I mean, impressive for him. It's been a little while since we've seen those kind of numbers from Phil. At the end of the day on Friday, there's a 3-way tie for first place at 6 under with Patrick Rogers, Matt Wallace, and Gary Woodland. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Phil can create a little bit of magic.
So there's still 2 more rounds, correct?
Saturday and Sunday, yeah.
Yep. Do you know who's gonna win this?
Who?
It's gonna be old Rory. He's gonna win it.
He might.
I hope.
He very well might.
Yeah, Cameron Smith isn't playing in this one.
Yeah.
That might be my new favorite golfer, by the way. Old Cameron Smith.
All right. Well, yeah, there's not too much more.
Yeah,
to
there's
talk
not really.
about.
There's not really too much more.
The big
to talk
talking
about
point with that tournament again is Rory making the cut, which again,
good for him.
First time in 2 months, maybe.
Which is why I said, once he makes the cut, he's gonna win it.
He's on the up and up. So the next topic we're going to talk about, which is the European Super League. So for those that don't know, the European Super League was an idea that the best teams in Europe were going to form their own type of a league that was going to be away from UEFA and it was going to replace the Champions League. So the teams, there were 12 teams that were originally in it.
To be honest, I don't even think there's any more teams in it. There is?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But the main teams that were in it, there were 6 Premier League teams from England and Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham. 3 teams from the Serie A, which is the Italian league.
Yeah,
Juventus, Inter, and AC Milan. And then there were 3 teams from La Liga, which is the Spanish league, and
Barcelona,
Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. There were a couple teams that were invited that declined, like Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
PSG was also invited, and they declined. But the European Super League has really fallen apart.
Yeah, well, and from what I gathered about that is a lot of, especially in England with the Premier League teams, a lot of their fans were in a way kind of pissed off about, okay, you're basically just doing this because of American sports.
And money.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is
money.
The money wise. I mean, I guess, and I know that you kind of want to hit on this too, but the reason for the Super League was none of these teams were going to be able to get relegated. They were basically just going to stay in this league. Nobody was going to be able to, which none of these teams, even in their own divisions right now, or leagues. Is it leagues?
Arsenal was a threat to be relegated for a long time in Premier League this year,
which is really kind of sad for them.
Yeah, but I mean, yes.
But a lot of these teams are big name teams that are not going to be relegated ever.
Yeah. So
and for I'll be honest, I did not realize Arsenal was playing that bad in the Premier League.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Arsenal was bottom of the table for. I follow
the Premier League, but it's mainly like Manchester United. So
yeah,
I don't really pay attention to it like a lot of the other teams, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I did not realize that Arsenal was really playing that bad. But I don't know. It to me, it did not surprise me when I heard that the 6 Premier League teams decided to pull out.
Yeah.
Especially after I believe the first one to pull out was City. I could be wrong about that. It might have been Chelsea.
It was Chelsea.
Yeah, but after Chelsea pulled out, and then I believe it was Manchester City, and then Liverpool, and then United was very, very shortly after.
Yeah.
It did not surprise me to see that all 6 of the Premier League teams pulled out.
Yeah.
Because if they were to stay in, I don't think they would have had fan support. And
no, they wouldn't have had player support. Liverpool's star player, one of their star players, Jordan Henderson, literally was outspoken about it and said that they didn't want to play in it. Yeah. Like they straight up did not want to play in it. They thought that the whole management and front office side of that was money hungry. And I mean, like you said, the six Premier League teams, so Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham, all pulled out of the European Super League. There's 3 teams that are currently still trying to figure out a way to make this happen.
Who are those 3 teams?
It's Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus.
Really?
Yeah.
To be honest, that...
So you've got...
That actually surprises me.
Best team, one of the 3 of the probably 5 best teams in the world.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Well, and the thing is that they're currently... meaning UEFA... are currently trying to figure out what it is that they're going to do with the teams that pledge to go to the Super League, because they're looking at possibly banning the 6 Premier League teams, Inter, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid. They're looking at possibly banning them for 2 years from the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah. So I did hear about that. Which to a point I get why, but it's also like, okay, they never played a single game in this Super League.
Well, and the thing is,
what's the point?
What are you gonna do? Like, what teams are you gonna have in there?
And not just that, but
you're gonna have Bayern.
If they're hoping to keep viewership, you're not going to keep viewership if you're not having some of these teams that are well-known teams in the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah, you're gonna have.
You're not like, if
you don't have these teams in there, you're gonna have teams like Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, PSG.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have like a Porto.
Is Roma already in it?
Well, I mean, qualifying hasn't locked in.
Okay.
But those are the types of caliber teams that you have. But not having a team like Liverpool, Manchester City, Man U,
Manchester United,
Juventus,
Real
Madrid, Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona's not been that great this year, but I mean, having teams
regardless,
like that,
I mean, you're not going to have viewership.
Well, and I mean, the thing is that looking at the reasoning for these teams wanting to leave the Champions League, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So their first reasoning for wanting to leave the Champions League was that they're playing quote unquote undistinguished teams. So you're having teams like, I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's Borussia Mönchengladbach. Something it's pronounced something close to that.
Yeah.
But you've got teams like them playing again, and not a bad team in
their own league.
What league is that? It's the German league.
German 2?
No.
Is that it?
It's the first German league. Bundesliga. They're good. Yeah. They're good. They're good in the Bundesliga. They're normally top half of the table, but you have them playing against teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Barcelona, or even worse teams than that playing against them.
Which don't get me wrong,
or football.
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, there has been upsets in the Champions League. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
but 90% of the time, these teams get absolutely ran.
Yeah. So and so you have those types of undistinguished teams that are playing against the football giants, and like I said, Liverpool, Chelsea, all them. So
yeah, well, and that's why I when I heard about this about the Super League, obviously I watched football, whatever you want to call it. I watch it every now and then, and mainly the Premier League. Mm-hmm. But I was excited for it because you're never going to see
one-sided matches.
No. It's going to be very good, or it should be very close games, very good games, and all very competitive teams that have star talent.
Yeah.
And that's what I was more excited about. But, like I said, I understand, the fans of these teams not being excited for this on the fact of they understand that all it is for money.
Well, see,
but here's my thing. Why? If you're a fan of these teams, why are you upset about that?
Well, see, and the thing is that I think a lot of, and I'll get to this here in a minute, but I think what people really had an issue with is obviously, yes, the money about it all and being financially greedy, but it being kind of going against tradition in soccer,
which I get that.
Football,
yeah, I get that. And a lot of especially the English teams and Barcelona, Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. There is so much history there, and years of history that anything that goes against that, obviously the fans are gonna be pissed.
Well, the thing that they're really
I get that.
The thing that they were really mad about though was this whole thing about relegation. Mm-hmm. So the way that they were gonna have the Super League set up, where there were gonna be certain teams that, no matter where they finished in the table, were safe from relegation. So they could be dead last and avoid relegation. Whereas
and I'm gonna assume,
other teams, if they finished dead last, they would get relegated to a different thing. Mm-hmm. They get relegated to a different championship.
Which I'm gonna assume these teams that were never gonna be relegated were Barcelona.
They never really came out and said.
I mean,
I would assume a Juventus, a Real Madrid.
Let's just be honest here, though. It's going to be Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick the teams that have, which I'll be honest, I'm a Manchester United fan, but. To be honest with you, I don't consider them a top team in the world right now.
See, but the thing here is,
are they a top organization?
Yeah.
Yes. Are they a top team? No.
But the thing here is that what a lot of people don't realize is that with the Champions League, you've got your big five of La Liga in Spain, Bundesliga in Germany. You got the Premier League in England. You've got Serie A in Italy, and you've got Ligue 1 in France.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many spots each division or each league automatically gets into the Premier League or into the Champions League?
Isn't it 2?
It's 3.
Okay, I was about to say I knew it wasn't a lot.
So theoretically, we'll say that automatically. Manchester City, Liverpool, and Manchester United are the 3 automatic spots.
Mm-hmm.
You're leaving out
Tottenham.
You're leaving out Arsenal in good years. You're leaving out Chelsea in good years.
Yeah.
In La Liga, you have Real Madrid, Barcelona, and you have Atletico Madrid. You're leaving out Sevilla. You're leaving out... I mean, there's no other team that really is going to have a chance to get into the Champions League because Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid are going to have those top 3 spots.
Which, okay, I'll be honest, because what were some of the other leagues?
The Ligue 1,
which
PSG.
Yeah, but here's my thing: if 3 are automatic, it's like PSG and two other top teams in that league.
Yeah,
but in my mind, for the Champions League, I would almost want to see 2 automatic. And yes, I understand that. Okay, in the Premier League, you're leaving out a whole bunch of teams.
Yeah,
but I'd almost want to see 2 automatic, and then you go off of the caliber of teams left. Because my guess is you're still going to be having teams out of the Premier League, out of honestly, maybe even Serie A.
I think honestly, you get rid of your automatic bids in general, other than your champions of that league, and you go
I'd be okay with that too.
You go off of like a type of like what the NCAA does, and go off strength of schedule.
Yeah,
you go off of against opponents that you've played, opponents that you've beat, opponents that you've lost to, and you go into a strict tournament format. You get rid of the round robin, which again you're going to be messing with tradition. Soccer fans, football fans aren't going to be happy with it. But I mean, you're missing out on an opportunity of getting into a tournament style play where you're gonna know who you're gonna be playing against. Your teams are gonna be able to better prepare for those games. You're gonna have a better tournament overall because you're not gonna have teams like the Borussia Mönchengladbach or however you pronounce it.
Well,
you might, but then again, you're not gonna have teams like Montpellier from France. You're not going to have teams like Köln from FC Köln from Bundesliga. You're going to have best teams in the world playing in a Champions League play,
here's my 2 cents on if it's going against like what they're accustomed to. Why should it matter if this isn't league play? This is... I mean, yes, it's called Champions League, but it's a tournament. It's not league play.
Yeah.
It's a tournament for the best team
in Europe.
Yeah. So in my mind, if it's a tournament for the best team in Europe, why would we have random European teams just because they finished 3rd in their league over a team that is technically better than them, but may have finished... I'm going to say the Premier League because it's just what I know. But finished maybe 5th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
When their strength of schedule is better than what this other team's playing. I agree with you. I think if they went to a style of mathematical calculation type thing over strength of schedule, wins, who they like, and things like that, that would be fantastic. And if that means that a team like, let's say, Chelsea or Manchester United honestly this past year don't make it in the Champions League, as a fan, I'd accept that.
Yeah.
Because you can tell me mathematically and based on who they played, they should not be in there.
You can show why the team that knocked them out and took their spot, why they earned that spot.
And I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. And plus with that, if it's only the champion of that league making it in for sure, that just makes those league games that much more important and that much more exciting to watch.
Yeah.
In my mind. Because here's my thing. Especially in, let's say, the Champions League in oh my gosh. Why can I not think of like the Barcelona one? La Liga. Holy crap. I don't know why I was not thinking of that. But okay, I'll even use La Liga. You have Barcelona, Atletico, and Real Madrid. Only one of them's making in, which 90% of the time is Barcelona. But, in recent years, they've been a little down.
Yeah.
Especially this past year. But in Premier League, you may even have a team like Tottenham who can win it. So in my mind, I think that would be a great idea. Now, obviously, in like Serie A, it's Juventus.
Especially Inter, AC.
Yeah, Inter is up and coming and competing, but I mean, Juventus.
Yeah, is Juventus.
So I mean, in that division or in that league, it's
the same thing with France. PSG.
Yeah. I mean, PSG's gonna run away with that, and German.
It's between
and Bundesliga.
It's
probably
between Bayern and Borussia. Usually.
But that's what I'm saying is, those league games would just become that much more important. And honestly, I feel like me as a Premier League fan, it would just make the Premier League games even more interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest. So
I'd agree with that.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know we kind of got off of the Super League talk and more of a talk of the Champions League, but I think it all just kind of plays together where I'm anxious to see, do these teams get suspended? Are these three teams that are still trying to form the Super League, are they going to stay in it? Or are they going to come back to their leagues? In my mind, I think they almost have to come back to their leagues because what are they going to gain from playing the same teams over and over and over again?
Well, I mean, see, and this is another thing that really is kind of bothersome for the major teams that play in like Champions League and why that they decided that they wanted to leave. So your big five, again, your England and all that, they account for 74% of the Champions League revenue, which is 19.7 billion with a B.
Yep.
Euros generated.
Yep.
You know how much they get? 1.3 billion. They generate 74% of 19.7, and they get 1.3.
Interesting.
So as a front office person, as an owner, as a person that deals with front office things along those lines, I see where they're coming from.
Oh yeah, I mean,
do I want to see tradition ruined in football? No.
No,
but at the same time, if you're having
when you're not
undistinguished teams making the same amount or close to the same amount as,
or better yet, when you're I mean, not to cut you off, Braden, but when you're not getting paid basically for the success that your team and organization is having, especially when it comes to revenue for UEFA, basically.
Yeah.
I 100% understand.
I mean, honestly,
I agree with what
moving this into like more of a conversation that more people would understand, other than somebody that has gone to school for stuff like this. If you go to your job and you do 75% of the work and get paid the exact same amount as somebody that does 15% of the work, you're not going to be happy.
Well, I'll give you one better, Braden. And not to... Okay, how can I say this without like making it very obvious, like what I'm talking about? I'll give you one better. Let's say you're at a job for 10 years, and somebody comes in day one and makes the same amount of money that you're making after being there for 10 years.
True.
How pissed off are you going to be?
Very.
That's basically what we're talking about here.
I mean, yeah. You have teams that are set in the Champions League for years.
You could have teams that like Manchester City, Manchester United, Barcelona.
Yeah.
All these teams that have been in the Champions League for years. And you have a team that finally finished third in Bundesliga that comes in and they're making the same amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, did they play well enough to earn that? Not sure, but at the same time, they deserve to be in that same spot as like you said. So let's actually take it even a step further. France, France or Italy, one of those two leagues is gonna be worse than a La Liga, than a Bundesliga, or than a Premier League. So you're gonna have a third ranked team, or a team that finished third in the table of a Italy, or a France league making the same amount of money than a team that played against competition in the Premier League all year long?
Well, okay, here's my question.
To finish third,
and you may know the answer to this. I personally don't. Do they make any more for going like further in the Champions League versus just make it? So in my mind, I think the first step is, okay, you make a certain amount for making it into the Champions League.
Yeah, it's just a universal.
But that's what I'm saying. I think what it should be is you make a certain amount for making it in. Then whoever makes it into I think it's the round of 16, right? For Champions League, or does every team make it to the next round?
It's 16 teams, and then
so then it's automatically
and then it goes to 8.
Okay, so what I think it should be is whoever makes it out of the group stage or whatever it is. I can't remember how the Champions League
It's a group stage into a round of 8, and then to a round of.
So what I think it is for each stage, after you automatically make it in, you should get paid so much more, because all that's going to do is it's going to help the people who actually are having success.
Yeah.
In the Champions League. And if that's a team like that Chinese team that you're talking about. Not Chinese. Oh my god. Like the Mendo whatever.
Yeah.
That
Bundesliga,
team.
Yeah.
Bundesliga, not Chinese. I don't know why it's Chinese. But if that team comes in and they make it to, let's say, the Final Four teams. Look, I know it's not called Final Four there, but
semis.
Yeah, the semis. But they make it to the semis. Should they be making more money than a team that got knocked out in the group stage? In my mind, yes.
Sure.
And that goes for any team.
Yeah.
But that's because you're paying them for how they're playing and the success that they're having. Yeah. You're not just paying them for making it in and being like, oh well, you can win this, but you're still gonna make the same amount of money as if you lost every single game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that. Like, I mean, what's like? I mean, if you're that organization, what's the perks of winning the Champions League other than bragging rights?
Yeah.
You're making the same money as if you lost.
I mean, you might get some type of sponsorship type dollars and stuff.
I mean,
like
I guess, but it's like, what's the perks here?
Yeah.
The players aren't making it. The players aren't going to make any extra money for this. They're not going to pay. I mean, they might. I guess if it's in their contract, like perks or whatever.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, if the organization makes more money, that's all that is more money to pay the players.
Yeah.
So in my mind, if you're paying for, like, let's say first place gets so many euros, all that's going to do is come back and help the fans for upgrades to the stadium or concessions, whatever.
Yeah.
B,
better
help bring in better players, which only leads to more success for those teams, and helps them out. I mean, they should be getting paid more for if they win the Champions League, in my mind.
I'd agree with that.
Which I don't think that would go against tradition. I really don't, because you're still playing it like you always play it. Yeah. You're just paying them for success. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, and sticking with the idea of tradition, so there has been, with this European Super League and the idea of relegation and things along those lines, it's really kind of sparked a conversation in translating that to North American sports. Mm-hmm. So for anybody that's not aware of what the relegation process is, basically what happens is, we'll take the German Bundesliga league for example, because I know the exact one for that for whatever reason. So the
random, but okay.
So the Bundesliga 2, which is the secondary, second pro league in Germany. So the two teams that finish top of the table of the German second league are then promoted and go up to the first German league, the Bundesliga, and the two teams that finish dead last in the first German league, of first Bundesliga, drop down and are then relegated to go to the second league or second league. It's a little confusing once but basically worst 2 teams fall down, top 2 teams promoted and go up. So it's been kind of tossed around as far as like in sports fan circles. Is this something that could or would make North American sports such as Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, maybe even an MLS?
Yeah.
Would it make it more interesting? Is it something that can translate to North American sports?
My thing is, can it translate? Obviously. I mean, you can easily get this to translate.
Yeah.
But the implementation at this point, it would be interesting to see how they did it. Because here's my let's just pick any sport, okay?
Hit me with one.
So give me any sport to use.
Hit me with a sport.
Hockey.
Okay, so we'll use hockey.
NHL. All right.
So hockey might be a little different because the way
AHL.
What?
AHL.
But that's what I'm saying. Hockey might be a little different than other sports. So let's say hockey, you take whatever 2 teams finish last, you flip-flop them with the AHL top 2 teams in the AHL. Okay, whatever. That's easy to do. And we talked about this before we went on air. But the problem I have with that, and you kind of came up with a good idea, is when it comes to the draft, which NHL does a lottery, so that automatically will take away a lot of the bottom 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's fine. But so let's use a sport like NBA. Okay.
NBA, just NFL.
Or let's use NFL. That would be a little harder. So NFL, do I think we can implement this? Yes, but the way that I think you would have to do it is you would almost have to split. The NFL is 16, 24 teams, and then whatever teams are left, which is the bottom of the league. So at this point would be like, obviously Jacksonville, the Bengals.
See, I don't even think you have to do
things
that.
like that. See, well, but here, this is what I'm saying is you do that. Like you play a year, and whoever the bottom 8 teams are, or bottom 4, however you want to separate it out.
Okay.
They're in their own, let's just say, AFL, just because there used to be NFL, AFL, or whatever.
Okay.
They're in their own American Football League, whatever. And then every year, the bottom 2 flip-flop with the top 2 from the other one. I mean, that would be the way you could do that. Or you just, I mean, I don't really know how else you would implement the relegation. Because the only other way that you could do it is you just don't get draft picks.
No, here, I got easy solution for you. Super easy solution for you, okay?
Okay.
You have your NFL. You have your same amount of teams you have now, okay?
Which is 32.
Okay.
I think.
So you keep the same amount of teams. The Jets are staying in the NFL for this year. So so basically what you need is you need a secondary professional football league, correct?
XFL.
You take the XFL, you take the UFL.
I forgot about that one, but yeah.
You combine the 2.
Okay.
You take the best players from college that weren't drafted into the NFL. You place them into those leagues or into that league.
Okay.
And you create a AFL, UFL, whatever you want to call it.
So
then you have your NFL teams. You have
the only thing that I see wrong with that scenario, to be absolutely honest with you, is a lot of the XFL teams play in NFL stadiums. So you would have to kind of do like what the Jets and the Giants do, where you'd have to basically have a whole bunch of different schedules. That
one play on Saturday, one play on Sunday. College players are already used to playing on Saturdays.
Well, that's true. I mean, I'm just saying, like, based on like what the NFL already does. So
yeah,
they'd have to change it like some days, like they play or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you could even have you could have one league on Thursday. You could have NFL on Sunday.
That's true.
And then you take those two leagues, you have the two worst teams in the NFL, or or four, depending on however you want to do it. And then, so we'll just say two. So you take the two worst teams in the NFL, you take them and relegate them into the UFL, whatever, and you take the two best teams of that and you move them up. So then, whenever it comes to the draft, you then take the third and fourth worst teams. They get the first and second pick, and then the two teams that were promoted get the third and fourth.
Okay.
So that way you're not overloading a team that it was just promoted, and you're also not promoting a team tanking.
So NFL would easily be able to do this.
Same thing. Same thing with
question.
Hockey. Same thing with hockey.
Well, okay. I was actually getting ready to ask this though. My question with like MLB, hockey, I will even say NBA.
Okay.
So, because NHL, MLB, and all of them have like the minor leagues.
Okay.
So, a lot of times the minor leagues like are owned by the major league team.
Okay.
Or like National Hockey League, like the NHL team like has a AHL organization. So when it comes time for relegation, how would you do that if technically these players are actually a part of, like, let's just say, like, I don't even know what their AHL team is anymore because it used to be San Antonio, but then they switched.
Yeah.
But like, let's just say San Antonio goes, like, those players can go to the Blues.
Okay.
So if you have relegation, how would that work if technically those players can still go to the, like, you see what I'm saying?
I do.
So I feel like you would almost have to have like a whole separate like professional hockey league or professional professional baseball, professional basketball league, which obviously you have the G League.
Yeah.
But you'd have to have like a whole separate professional league for these guys to go to take over.
See, but the thing is that they have that in soccer.
Yeah.
Because I'll take Barcelona. I know Barcelona's team better than any other team. Barcelona's got a B team. They're in while the I can't think of what the second league is, but it's Barca B. If they get promoted, they get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Those players played. They earned that spot to get promoted. They get promoted. Now, what that would do as far as a minor hockey team going up into a professional, into a NHL type, that's a little different because you have, players that are being owned by a team and they're playing for a different team.
Yeah.
But the whole thing would be if you have and you use the AHL as a second professional hockey league, you could easily use juniors in Canada. You could use leagues that were overseas, like with Clem Costin and the Blues. You could use with MLB. You could take your AAA teams. You could have the best players in AAA. You could create we'll say 8 to 10 team second league. The two best teams from that go up. The two worst teams from the MLB go down. They play the best players in that second league in their minor, like in the what would be the minors, and then you use the rest of those teams as your AAA, AA, single A. So you can do that. NBA.
I guess my question with that is, do you really think that the best AHL team or the best AAA team is actually better than the worst major league team or worst NHL team?
You see it every year in soccer.
Well, I'm just asking. I'm just asking
because I think I understand what you're saying, but I mean, look at Leicester from a couple years ago in English Premier League. They were promoted. They were promoted a couple years before they were English or before they were Premier League champions.
I guess my question is, when it comes to like comparing American sports and like English soccer right now or any other like league of soccer right now, is those soccer leagues, like, those are technically professional. They're strictly professional players.
Uh-huh.
I understand that, yes, AHL, like, you're technically still, like, a professional player. It's AAA, you're technically still a professional player. But in American sports, like, we have, professional players are major league caliber players.
Okay.
Professional hockey players are National Hockey League caliber players. So if we like redid American sports to follow along the same lines of relegation, you're not technically having professional moving up, but you're having professional moving down every year. You see what I'm saying?
See, but if you're having those teams that are being relegated from NHL, for example, if you have those two worst teams that are being moved down into that AHL, you're exposing those players in the AHL to teams that played in the NHL and played against the best of the best.
That's true.
Whereas
That's true.
you have your two teams from the AHL that showed that they could beat everybody in the AHL, give them an opportunity to go play against the NHL.
That's true.
Why not?
That's true.
And then this, as far as like baseball goes, like if you, like I said, put the best players of AAA together and put them in a league playing against the best AAA players, if you put a team of great prospect talent and you put them up against like Seattle, what's going to stop them from winning?
Well, and I guess my other question would be if we implement this in all sports in America, would there be any point of athletes going to college to play?
Is there a point now?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is right now the NCAA and some professional sports are saying, okay, you have to go to college for like at least 1 year.
Well, see, and the thing is that,
but if we implement this, in my mind, the NCAA would almost have to change their policy because there would be absolutely no point.
They should change their policy in the first place because the NCAA is seen as one of the most corrupt organizations.
Well, hell,
in sports.
honestly, look at hockey. These guys are doing perfectly fine, and you have kids who are 16 years old playing
juniors in Canada.
World Juniors in Canada. They're playing the KHL overseas. Yeah. They're still doing perfectly fine for themselves, being able to make a living, being able to get a degree if they want to, and play the sport they love.
I agree.
My whole thing is, and in my mind, I thought college basketball was way more competitive back in the day when you had players staying for 4 years over what it is now where you have one and dones where, to be absolutely honest, I couldn't even tell you who the last. I'm a Duke fan. I couldn't even tell you who the last 4 teams even had on their teams. See, because it's a different player every year.
See, the thing is though, is that not only. So yes, like to answer your question, yes, if you have a system like this, there isn't much of a point to go play college sports because you can literally go up and you can move into the lower tier of the sport of sports or of that sport. Not only does that make it helps out the player because it gets the player exposed to a professional sporting environment earlier. It is going to help out the colleges because they're going to be having players and athletes that go there for 4 years. You're going to be able to develop the players that you want to. There's not going to be much of a one and done anymore unless somebody comes in and just tears it up and then they leave. But I don't think that's much going to happen very often unless you come from a not very big high school that nobody really sees. Then you just tear it up in college. But then you're going to have more of your, not necessarily average Joe, you're still going to have to be a good athlete in order to play in college. But you're going to have more of your everyday high school player is going to be able to play more in college because you don't have those outstanding players that are being recruited to go play it. They're going to be recruited to go play at Duke. But are they going to go to Duke or are they going to go play we'll just say the G League, for example? Or are they going to go play in the G League where they have an opportunity of, if they get put on a good team or drafted by a good team in that G League, they have the opportunity to go to the NBA. Like, first year, done.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, and that may in itself make college basketball. I mean, I know we're talking about college basketball, but that may make college basketball competitive again.
Yeah,
in itself, just doing that.
Yeah.
So,
see, and that's the way it is. And honestly, like, do you think that they should? Do you think that this is something that they should implement, or that they should implement? Do you think that they should?
I think they should. The only problem is, like we talked about, I would want them to iron out,
the details
on how it's going to work. Because I think if they just implement it and just hope it works, it's going to fail.
Well,
it's going to be terrible.
All I can say is,
but if they actually, have a plan, this is how it's going to work. This is what's going to happen for these teams to be relegated, these teams to move up. I'm all for it. To be honest,
all I'm saying,
I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, Rob Manfred, Adam Silver, hockey, Bettman.
Oh, Bettman.
Roger Goodell.
Oh, fuck.
Hit my line.
Goodell isn't.
I'll give you some good examples on how to do it.
Goodell isn't going to do shit.
He ain't going to do anything. But all I'm saying is, there's a way to do it. I personally think that they should. I think it would, like I said before, it creates a no tanking environment.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, if you're in the NFL, you don't want to get relegated to the UFL.
Oh, exactly.
If you're in the MLB, you don't want to go down to that second league. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go down to the AHL if you're in the NHL. You want to stay there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I mean, there's not going to be any tanking. There's not going to be. It's going to make everything more competitive. It's going to make it more fun to watch. You're going to have as a professional sports like an ESPN. You're going to have more to report on. You're going to have more things to get content off of. Mm-hmm. I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea. I think that it's worked for hundreds of years. Well, maybe not hundreds, but it's worked for a long time over in Europe.
Yeah, why not bring it over here?
Our sports systems over here are young compared to what soccer has been in Europe. Why not take that model that they've given us and run with it?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
What are your thoughts, Jan? What do you think?
I agree with it.
You think so?
Yeah.
See, I mean, honestly, you take the NFL for example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you gonna watch a Jets versus Buccaneers game?
No.
Are you gonna watch the Jets versus Buccaneers?
Well, hell, Braden. I mean,
because we know who's gonna win.
We can just say, last year the 100-1 odds that you got.
Oh yeah, true.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was the Buccaneers Jets.
It was actually,
and it's like
it was out of the Bengals, one of the two. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those situations where are you going to watch a Jets versus Buccaneers game? No. Are you going to watch, unless your favorite team is the Bucs or the Jets? But are you going to? Are more people going to tune into that team that was promoted playing against the Buccaneers to see if they can compete?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, and
maybe there's a player from that promoted team that went to your school. Maybe there's maybe
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe one.
And not just that, but fans of these minor league teams,
you have stuff to root for.
Yeah. Now,
to heck, obviously winning a division or winning a championship
the only thing that might be a little different is obviously over in Europe for soccer, they have way bigger stadiums for even like smaller teams.
Mm-hmm.
Versus obviously here in America, the AAA teams, their stadiums are a lot smaller. But hey, if they make it to the major leagues, screw it. They get to have major league players playing at their stadium.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Dimensions of the ballpark aren't going to be much.
No, and that's the thing. Because I'm all for it. I really am.
I really think that it can work. I really do. I think that it's a great.
I'll say, let us know what you guys think, because I like to hear it. Like that I think that's a great idea.
It would get me to watch more sports, honestly.
See, exactly. You're gonna have more exposure. You're gonna get more fan involvement.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? If anybody hasn't seen videos of fans of like a second league team in Europe winning and getting promoted.
Well, they're crazy.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most wholesome and awesome moments to see as a sports fan. Like, it's crazy.
And you know, maybe they get demoted the next year, but for that 1 year, they're up against the big boys.
And that's literally possibly the change in an organization. I mean, you go from, like, for Premier League, for example, you go from making, like, I mean, you make a decent amount of money in the Championship League, but you go from that to all of a sudden you're in an English Premier League where you've got TV deals, and you're making millions, if not tens to hundreds of millions more than what you were making prior.
Well, because like you said, I mean, you're always on TV.
Yeah.
Even if you're a small Premier League team,
Sunderland,
you're on TV against Manchester United, and if you win, people are like, "Oh, who the hell is this team?"
Exactly.
Or if you tie, people are like, "Okay, who's this team that just tied Tottenham, tied Liverpool, beat Liverpool?" You know what I mean? I'm all for this,
I
but
think it's a great idea.
we probably need to get off soccer.
I could talk about soccer all day.
Well, I know you could, but let's move on to our
last topic and final segment in the top 5.
Top 5. And this week it is going to be the top 5 Major League Baseball jerseys of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time. Okay.
Of all time.
Of all time. So how do we want to do this? Do we each want to start with 5, or do we each want to say our top 5?
Just go down the line at 5.
At 5?
Go down the
Okay.
line at 4.
So Chan, go ahead and start it.
Alright, so at 5 I have the Royals throwback jersey, which is their very light blue one.
I'm going to say the powder blue.
Yeah.
Or the light blue. Okay.
Yeah. I just like the way it looks.
So my number 5 is the American flag Washington National jerseys. You know what jerseys I'm talking about?
I know which one you're talking about.
It's got
The black ones?
Yes, I know which one.
It's a white. It's literally a
white.
white
They also have
jersey.
the black ones too.
The white ones are better.
white
It's got
ones are
literally
better.
a white jersey. The Washington emblem has the American flag in it.
Yeah.
The number on the back has the American flag. The name has the American flag in it. I just think it looks classy. I like it.
Okay. See,
I haven't seen that one.
It's nice.
I've
only seen the black one.
I like that jersey, and it probably would be my top 5. However, I thought we were going with jerseys that they wore for like
They do wear that every once in a while.
okay, they do. Okay, I'll give you that.
It's not just like a lot of the time they'll wear it for like 4th of July games, things like that.
I'm pretty sure
Memorial Day.
I
But
could be wrong, but isn't that the one that no, that wasn't the one who wore the All-Star like the All-Star Home Run Derby.
oh no,
But he wore like his
he wore the
bandana and
the
had like
US
the special
bandana.
hat, or the special bat.
Yes.
Okay, my number 5 is the Cardinals powder blue.
Yeah, the 80s. I like it.
That's my number 5.
Okay. Hit me with your 4, Chandler.
I got the Phillies throwback.
The baby
light
blue
blue.
ones.
The baby blue.
Yeah.
You and the baby blue.
I know, I got a lot of them.
See, I don't like that jersey. I like for the Phillies. I don't like that jersey.
I'm gonna stick with the powder blue. And I'm gonna go powder blue Cardinal jersey for number 4.
Hey, there you go.
There's just something about it.
Well, and honestly, like
They brought it back this year, and I loved it.
yeah, honestly, my number 5, my number 4 could have been flip flop too.
Yeah.
My number 4 is the Astros rainbow jersey. You know what
You
I'm
were
talking
with
about,
the cheaters?
dude? Their rainbow jersey is
Yeah, the rainbow
sick.
jersey's pretty nice.
Like that rainbow jersey is nice.
Yeah. All right, hit me with 3, Chandler.
Cardinals baby powder blue.
we all had it.
All right.
Dude, that jersey is. I'm not a Cardinals
I like
fan.
it
That
on,
jersey is
Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
that jersey's
good
something
on that.
else.
So I'm gonna hit you with the little purple and green Arizona Diamondback jerseys
You fucking bastard.
with the little
That
pinstripe
was
action.
nice.
Dude, that was my number 3.
The little pinstripe
Like
action.
literally, Arizona
That was
Diamondback purple
nice.
jersey.
Yep.
Like that was my number 3. Dude, that jersey's where it's at.
It's not my top 5.
No,
That
Right.
would have been an honorable mention.
Hey,
It's.
best person to wear that jersey,
Classic.
Randy Johnson.
I mean, Luis Gonzalez, but
I mean, Randy Johnson. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. What's number 2, Jan?
I got the 1978 Pittsburgh Pirates jersey.
The yellow one?
It's yellow and then the pinstriped pants with yellow and black on them.
Not bad.
I'm going to go traditional here.
Okay.
Just a normal white St. Louis Cardinal jersey.
Oh my god.
You've got. I mean, honestly though.
Kill me now.
But you've got the birds on the bat. You've got the. It's just a classic jersey.
It is. I mean, I'll give you that. It is a classic
something,
jersey.
and honestly, it's a lot of. It's you hear a lot of times whenever players. I mean, granted, you hear that with players going and seeing teams or to new teams, but whenever players come to like the Cardinals, you hear a lot of them say, my dream as a kid was to, wear the birds on the bat. It's been their logo for a long time. It's just a classic traditional jersey.
Well, I mean, and I don't have this in my top 5. You could also say, obviously, like the Dodgers white and blue as the classic jersey, but I'm just not a Dodgers fan.
But that's not. I mean, it just says Dodgers across the front of it.
Well, I know. I'm just
saying
of
a design to it.
I'm just saying if we're saying like classic jerseys.
Yes,
I mean,
I see what you're saying.
That's a classic jersey. But so where are we on? Number 2s.
Number 2. Yep.
My number 2 is Yankees home whites, pinstripes.
The pinstripes.
Yankees home whites. That's my number 2.
Okay.
Number 1.
You're gonna be shocked by number 1, I think.
Number 1, the White Sox jersey, like the one that is white with the red and then it says Sox in the middle.
Oh, dude, no.
I like that.
No. I mean, that's. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but that's not even in my top 5. I hate that jersey.
I think that might be one of my top 5 hated jerseys.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm a White Sox fan, but that might be one of my top 5 hated jerseys.
It is what it is.
I mean, hey, if you like that jersey, I'm not gonna be the one to tell you no.
Yeah.
But I personally, as a White Sox fan, there should be no red in their jersey.
It's black and white.
Like, no, it's red.
I know, but I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but there should be
and all that's.
There should be no red in their jersey, and why there's red in that throwback is. It's kind of like, okay, completely off topic and completely off sports. It's kind of like the Blues with their red and their retro and reverse retro jersey. It's like, why?
Yeah.
At no point is red a part of the Blues emblem, anything. Yeah. So the
White Sox are just trying to be like the Red Sox. That's all it is.
I guess. So what's your number 1, Braden?
My number 1 is the Yankee pinstripes.
Which I can't be mad at. I mean, I put that on my number 2. So
the Yankee pinstripes is just
it's iconic.
Again, traditional. I mean, it hasn't changed. Gehrig and Ruth wore the pinstripes.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Uh-huh. And this is me as a White Sox fan. Mm-hmm. Okay, because the White Sox have pinstripes.
Okay.
So are the Yankees pinstripes like? And this is me like really asking this question: are the Yankees pinstripes more iconic because of the amount of Hall of Fame players and amount of World Series they have?
I think it's more of an iconic thing because they're the ones that really started the pinstripes.
That's true too.
So,
but you see where I'm coming from?
I see where you're coming from.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I 100% like when it comes to the pinstripes, I classify it as Yankees.
Yeah, you see pinstripes, you think Yankees.
Yeah, like you don't think any other team but Yankees. No matter who has pinstripes on their uniform or not, you think New York Yankees and you think the white jerseys.
Yeah. I mean, and you think of players like Ruth, Gehrig, Mantle. I mean,
Maris.
Yeah,
Maris.
I mean, yeah, it's just
so it's like
CC Sabathia, I guess.
I'd rather not see him in pinstripes ever again.
They're slimming.
It's something. But my number 1.
Hit me with it.
And like I said, you might be a little surprised about this. The 1976 Atlanta Braves jersey. Do I need to pull this up?
You might have to.
I'll pull this up for you.
Describe it.
You need.
Okay, well, they're not going to be able to see it.
I understand that.
Oh, the Hank Aaron jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that is just... It does something.
That's better than the Yankees pinstripes?
To me, 100%.
Looks like a Padres jersey.
Nah, dude. this jersey.
I mean, I guess.
Oh man, especially when
If
Hank
anybody's
Aaron
curious
won.
what
Oh,
it
my
looks
gosh.
like, just go look up a picture of Hank Aaron.
Yeah,
It's literally
I mean,
what it is.
I mean, yeah.
It literally looks
That's
like it looks like an older version of a Montreal Expo jersey.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's literally what it looks like.
That's not bad. I mean, hell, I'll even just say the regular Braves jersey. I mean,
It's
I
not bad.
think is
Yeah.
pretty sick too. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's in my mind, I don't think you can go wrong really with a lot of major league jerseys.
You can though.
Yeah, the Cubs they don't do it for me.
The Cubs don't. The Pirates don't.
The Pirates jerseys now, no.
Even the
Absolutely not.
ones back when like Barry Bonds first started,
Yeah,
those were ugly.
yeah.
A lot of the Astros jerseys have been kind of ugly.
Actually, that rainbow one though is
yeah.
is
And actually,
legit.
their version of the pinstriped one with their old logo was kind of nice too.
Dude, what? I'm an idiot. Why did I not think of this jersey?
What is it? Oh, the Angels' old logo, the California Angels.
That one. Oh, dude,
That's not bad.
I don't know why I didn't. I mean, I know that you guys
The old
can't. I know you guys can't seeing this can't watch it or can't see it. Like watching this can't see it, but just think of Jim Edmonds on the Angels. That jersey.
Or that one movie where the dog plays baseball.
Well, or Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah,
It's the same.
Yeah,
It's the same one,
yeah.
but yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of jerseys that it didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Seattle,
Detroit.
bland. Detroit, bland.
Tell you what, the Miami jerseys aren't bad.
Brewers,
Yeah, Brewers are kind of.
Reds, just really bland.
Yeah. Honestly, any more of the Phillies are really bland.
Just
And
the red pinstripes.
I'll be honest. I like the powder blue jerseys, but for the Phillies,
It looks weird.
For whatever reason, it doesn't do it for me.
It looks weird.
Unlike the Cardinals powder blue, the Cardinals logo looks better on it. The Phillies logo does not look good on the powder blue.
Well, their throwback logo on there looks weird.
Yeah.
I might just be the throwback logo in general. But
Yeah. And like Texas Rangers jerseys, no.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of jerseys.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up tonight.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to say, Chandler, tonight?
No?
Okay. I was just making sure
I'm
before we
good.
wrapped it up. But make sure to stay engaged with us. Our social media stuff's at the bottom. Remember to always like, subscribe, comment on Facebook. And we will. I want to say we'll see you guys next week. It kind of depends on how things are going with the newborn baby that I'm gonna have. So,
Well, not you personally,
well, my wife's having. I'm gonna be the father of at the house.
but you're not having it though.
I'm not having.
Shout
it.
out to Paige, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to my wife. You're the real hero.
We love you.
Hold strong. It's gonna be good. I'll be there. Hold your hand. All right, we should wrap this up. But like I said, stay engaged, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.